Tzu Chi volunteers in the Philippines initiated a Wildfire Relief program to help flood survivors. We look at how the government addresses the issue in rural areas by publicly funding medical students. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Tzu. Thank you for joining us. In the Philippines, heavy rains on August 11th led to severe flooding in Marikina City and San Mateo. After 2 days of emergency distribution and disaster assessment, Manila Tzu Chi volunteers launched a Wildfire Relief program to help the affected residents clean up their homes. This time, Tzu Chi volunteers provided them with $16 per day for their assistance to clean up their community.
In the Philippines, the volunteers all sat down to have a serious meeting about the next step for the flood-affected residents. Worried about their current situation, the main agenda is to prepare for the Wildfire Relief program.
Our main idea is to equally share the cleanup work amongst everyone, so each one of them has a task to do. They all feel very happy to collaborate with us so we can launch the program in the 4 hardest-hit areas at the same time. With the blessings from Dharma Master Zheng Yan and our global Tzu Chi families, we hope that these efforts will transform the disaster areas.
After everyone reached a consensus, the volunteers started to delegate tasks. One group of volunteers is responsible for preparing cleaning tools, while the other volunteers are planning the routes for the cleanup efforts. After all preparation work was finished, the Wildfire Relief program was officially launched on the morning of August 16th. In Marikina City and San Mateo, a total of 1,575 people from 4 different communities joined the cleanup efforts at the same time. Due to the impoverished living conditions of the affected residents, Tzu Chi provides them with $16 for their day of work. Besides subsidizing the losses after the flood, the financial support also includes the blessings from global Tzu Chi volunteers.
Through this program, we can do 2 things at the same time. First, we can give them the financial assistance that they need. Second, we can provide equipment for them to clean up their own communities.
While the affected residents are busy cleaning up their communities, a group of cooking volunteers are preparing hot meals for them at the same time. In addition, the police force and firefighters are also contributing their parts. Tzu Chi volunteers remark that this Wildfire Relief program will last for 3 to 5 days. The work schedule will be adjusted according to the rates of restoration of each disaster area.
In another flood-related news, we continue to care for the flood survivors in Laos. Tzu Chi volunteers delivered nearly 3,000 blankets and 500 Jinsi multi-purpose folding beds from Thailand. On August 15th, the aid supplies finally arrived in Pasek. Due to the rain over consecutive days, flood waters have yet to recede. Tzu Chi volunteers plan to distribute aid supplies when the weather permits.
This truck carries the supplies to the outskirts of the disaster area. 2,954 blankets and 490 Jinsi multipurpose folding beds have been delivered by 3 trucks. At 5 p.m. on August 14th, volunteers set off from Bangkok, Thailand. They arrived near the border of Upon Ratchathani at noon the next day. Tzu Chi volunteers were able to quickly go through customs. At 2 p.m. on August 15th, the beds and blankets were successfully delivered to the destination.
The bridge was damaged, so we borrowed space from the local temple in Baksa to place multi-purpose folding beds and blankets.
Many Asian people who are doing business in Pasa also lend a hand to help people in need.
We try our best to help them. Some people contribute their money while others put in their efforts to help.
It has been flooded by about 5 meters high since yesterday.
Since the water on the roads to Samnamse has not yet receded, Tzu Chi volunteers will reset the dates to distribute multipurpose folding beds and blankets. They have especially visited the governor of Atapu.
This is our Jingse Hall. Dharma Master Zheng Yan wishes the governor a peaceful life.
In addition to showing the master's concern for the disaster situation in Laos, Tzu Chi also hopes to make disaster damage assessments go smoothly by establishing effective communication channels with local governments.
On July 25th, Cranston in California's Riverside County was hit with a huge forest fire that was started intentionally by an individual. It took more than a week to get it under control. City volunteers quickly mobilized a distribution of cleaning supplies and cash cards to help the affected residents.
If it wasn't for the fire, every summer, Mary would be seen at her animal farm. It would be filled with children's laughter. Unfortunately, right now, it's a big patch of blackness. However, what has not changed is Mary's hearty laugh.
Like I said, I lived here for 19 years at this house, and then I lived at the other house across the highway that you guys helped them out too. That's where we lived before. So the joke is that every house I lived in burned down.
Forest wildfire was unfortunately caused by someone purposefully starting it. Including Mary's home, there were a total of 5 buildings that were destroyed.
A few pictures off the hallway because he was still here, but the sheriff ran me off. I have no clothes. I had no clothes with me or anything. And it's amazing how expensive everything is.
Once again, she found herself back to square one with this fire. However, seeing the familiar faces of the Tzu Chi volunteers, Mary was no longer helpless. There was a distribution of cleaning supplies and cash cards for all the affected residents. Julie, the community volunteer, came especially to thank everyone. She has sent out a help request through the internet, but she never expected the aid to come so soon.
Your organization and all the people that have contributed to assist my community, because I believe we are all one.
Bless you. Yeah.
In Indonesia, in celebration of the upcoming National Day, city volunteers have held a community cleaning contest in the second DaAi village. In addition, they designed some games for the children, hoping to teach them about the importance of doing good deeds and protecting the environment. The villagers bent down to clean the gutters and sweep the garbage. They're participating in the cleaning contest city volunteers have held in the second DaAi village. Having suffered from the flood caused by garbage near Anke River, the relocated residents find this contest to be very meaningful.
Since we really feel that the environment is very dirty, we want them to pay attention to the living environment through this activity.
The volunteers write down the scores after checking every corner. The championship was won by residents in Building G2.
I'm very grateful because we are able to win championship with the efforts of the residents.
They sweep together and eat snacks together. Everyone feels very fortunate. I think this is the most important, that they are able to participate in activities together.
Besides holding the cleaning contest, the volunteers also designed some games for the children, hoping to teach these children about the importance of doing good deeds and protecting the environment.
I've learned to line up orderly, not to talk during classes, not to litter, maintain sanitation, and respect my parents.
While celebrating the National Day, the residents have also learned the importance of maintaining the environment. Taiwan trains about 1,300 medical students every year, but the distribution of specialists has been unbalanced in terms of geography. In particular, there are chronic vacancies in 5 major specialty fields in rural areas. In 2008, a government plan was launched to address this issue, with publicly funded medical students requiring them to serve in rural areas after graduation.
This tall and slim individual is Wang Hao, who attended Taipei Medical University as a publicly funded student in the field of dentistry. His hometown is in the outlying islands. as he was concerned about his sister's teeth in Matsu.
For example, corrective surgery would cost $1,100, but it may cost you up to $3,000 for traveling between Taiwan and Matsu. And I think there are many people in Matsu in the same situation, as I hope to return home to serve these local folks.
Maintaining his initial inspiration, this 6-year medical student is about to begin his hospital internship. Taiwan trains 1,300 medical students every year. However, there are imbalances when it comes to specialists and geographical distribution. In remote areas, there are vacancies in 5 major departments such as internal and external medicine, OBGYN, pediatrics, and emergency care. Insufficient staffing in these areas has led the Ministry of Health and Welfare in 2016 to publicly fund 100 students each year for 5 years in 7 different medical schools.
If you are in a relatively fast department, like family medicine, you can complete training in 3 years. However, if you are an internal or external medicine or OBGYN, you may need at least 4 years. So many are counting the requirements of this publicly funded program, and at the earliest, it may be 32 years of age, and later 35 years old. This might leave some people feeling unsettled.
未来在受专科医师训练的程度上面，可能
In the future, there may be no way for them to undertake advanced training, like transferring to a teaching hospital or a medical center for specialist training. Many are more concerned about this. Partly, I think that these factors may affect the number of people who apply for this program.
可能就当然会多多少少会影响到他们来报考。
Medical students completing the 6-year medical education as well as a general medical internship may mean it takes at least 10 years to inject new staff into these 5 medical departments, which are depleted in remote areas. Also, entrants have to accept designation on the behalf of the Ministry of Health and Welfare, requiring at least 6 years before practicing freely. Failing to fulfill the commitment will not only result in revoking the doctor's certificate, but also compensation of $500,000. After some public outcry, this amount was reduced to $120,000. Reviewing the history of publicly funded medical students, in 1975, the program was implemented by the Department of Health. More than 100 students were admitted each year. The ratio of self-funded and publicly funded students was about 10 to 1. Up until 2009, a total of 6,537 doctors underwent publicly funded training. The current president of National Yangming University, Steve Guo, was part of the first group of students to undergo such training, later serving as a director of the Centers for Disease Control.
所以刚开始很多人就会讲说，这个好像是一个卖身契一样，因为
At first, many people thought the contract we needed to sign was unclear when it came to the internship. Later, we learned that if we did not complete our service, they would repeal our diploma.
那就要扣你的毕业证书。
The predecessor of National Yangming University's National Yangming School of Medicine, which was vigorously promoted by former President Zhang Jingguo, who was then Minister of National Defense. After graduating from this publicly funded medical school, they must work at Taipei Veterans General Hospital. Looking back on the early years, many classmates after graduation went directly to serve in local townships because the system was not perfect and almost did not become certified physicians.
有一大半的人呢
More than half of the people after graduation went to the countryside to serve and did not receive specialist training. So after being in the countryside for 2 years, some people could come back to major hospital to train.
来做这个住院医师的这个训练，
用这样子的模式，它最大的一个
The biggest drawback of using this model is that when a doctor should theoretically go to be a resident, he just begins serving local governments to serve. In fact, this is part of a doctor's education. It's like you are sending a rookie to a place where there's no real support, as he has to do battle on his own.
没有任何后方资源的地方，让他在那边单打独斗。
Compared to the previous and current system, most of today's medical education, including internships and residency, must be conducted in qualified teaching hospitals. However, whether new public funding for medical study aimed at overcoming staffing shortages in 5 major departments in rural hospitals will be of use is still something we have to observe, as initial results will not be available for another 8 years.
Tzu Chi Kuala Lumpur and Selangor chapter has been working with UNHCR since 2004, providing medical care and education to refugees in Malaysia. Recently, UNHCR Director for Asia and the Pacific visited Kuala Lumpur Jingsi Free Clinic Center and remarked that he hopes to expand the collaboration with Tzu Chi. UNHCR Director for Asia and the Pacific is visiting Kuala Lumpur Tzu Chi Free Clinic Center with the companionship of a UNHCR representative and a health officer.
Initially it was for the Malaysian poor, so they look at the income bracket and see who is qualified for this, but then they eventually opened it to refugees.
So you are a graduate, this is a success story. No, thank you because you are giving back. What you receive from others, you are giving back to the community.
Tzu Chi Kuala Lumpur and Selangor chapter has been working with UNHCR for 14 years. Through this visit, they both want to do more for refugees.
I would like to expand our collaboration that we have, for example, in Malaysia and in some other parts of the world, because the needs for refugees are immense. Today we have the highest numbers of refugees in many years. 68 million people are refugees and displaced forcibly today. So the needs are great, and organizations like Tzu Chi and the work they do is needed. So we would really like to see how best to expand our collaboration to other places.
Healing the wounds with love. Tzu Chi and UNHCR will continue to join hands in helping with the refugee movement. In Malaysia, 70-year-old Quaker Singh has been educated about a ghost month ever since she was a little girl. There are many taboos and ways of worship during this time. However, since 2012, she and her husband no longer burn just money nor conduct all the intricate worshiping rituals. While they led by example, it also affected the neighbors.
Many believe the 7th lunar month is filled with taboos, mystery, and overall fear of unknown spirits. These are all the traditions and legacy passed down from the ancestors in Gui Gyoshim's family. Whenever this month rolls around, she would stop going out at nighttime.
When the 7th lunar month rolls around, I'm deeply afraid. In the past, the elders have always said that this is the month when the opening of the ghost gates happens. About 9 p.m. each night, we would need to close all the doors. Also, water cannot be splashed during this hour.
After coming into contact with Dharma, she asked her husband's consent and decided to try to change herself.
Because Dharma Master Zhen Yan said that this is not a ghost month, it's a month to be grateful, so it's an auspicious month. So I boldly gave it a try.
People say that during the middle of the 7th lunar month is very dangerous. I don't really think so. I didn't do any worshipping rituals and I'm still alive.
I had asked the ancestors and they agree. After that, I no longer do the rituals. It has saved a lot of time, energy, and money as well.
Even the neighbor has been converted by her examples.
I learned off on her to burn less. It's freed up a lot of space, and also there are no more ashes just flying around everywhere.
I'm very happy. It's a lot simpler now. In fact, buying just money is very expensive. It's a waste of money. When it's burned, it's all gone. It's better to use that money to go help the less fortunate. It's so much more meaningful to spend it this way.
When you are sincere, you can eliminate fear and live your life in righteousness.
The Tzu Chi Community Care Checkpoint in Banqiao has just celebrated its one-year anniversary. Twice each month, Banqiao Tzu Chi volunteers have been conducted various activities with the community senior citizens. Since it is the 7th lunar month, volunteers have especially planned a special interactive drama performance to showcase environmental protection concepts and how it's auspicious month, so there's no need for fear during this period of time.
Following the volunteers on stage, the senior citizens are all actively moving their bodies around. Good health doesn't just mean exercising regularly, but one must have a balanced diet as well. Banqiao Tzu Chi chapter visits the community center in Xizhou twice a month. The happy atmosphere attracts even the 102-year-old grandmother not to miss a beat.
It's very good here. Everyone here is very good to us. It's fun. They're good people.
Sometimes singing, exercising, and also learn some knowledge. It's really great to come here. I'm very happy.
The concepts of environmental protection and vegetarianism is hard for the elderly to grasp in lecture format. That's why the volunteers have decided to do an interactive drama performance on the topics to help the elderly have a better understanding.
Each month, we bring in the Tzu Chi spirit and humanistic culture for the elderly. This month is the 7th lunar month, auspicious month. Dharma Master Zheng Yan deeply cares about environmental protection, so that is why we are sharing these messages with the community. We're also teaching them that auspicious month is all about the ideas of safety, health, and harmony.
The volunteers have been very dedicated, so after a year of regularly interacting, I can see there has been a big change. At first, the senior did not want to come, was afraid to come. Now they want to come, but are still a bit passive. However, they really enjoy coming.
The community care checkpoint is crucial to the well-being of the neighborhood. Not only can it help slow down the generation of the elderly, but it also helps them to be an active part of society.
In Xinjiang, Taiwan, an activity center together with a senior club was officially opened. The center provides multi-purpose spaces for residents, including a recreation room, study center, and activity area. There's even an open-air garden on the top floor where people can grow vegetables on their own.
Pulling down the curtain, the Fujian Citizen Activity Center in Xinjiang has officially opened.
We didn't have any place for the elderly people to take part in leisure activities. This activity center provides seniors with some space for recreation and is available for them to hold a meeting.
The original activity center was demolished in 2016 due to the old construction and lack of earthquake resistance. After more than 1 year of construction, 4 floors of the building were reconfigured. It has a recreation room, an activity area where table tennis can be played, a study center, as well as a senior club. There is an open-air garden on the top floor where the residents can grow vegetables on their own.
Everyone grows vegetables here. We finally have a place for recreation. I grow organic vegetables so I can eat healthy.
Seeing karaoke happily and enjoy life in later years, this activity center provides recreational spaces for the seniors, which can prevent them from feeling lonely.
To mark Asana Bucha Day in Thailand, teachers and students at Chiang Mai Tzu Chi School offer candles and food to monks. To reduce the use of plastic bags, they place the food in various eco-friendly containers. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.